I love aesthetic. I feel that every time I see it, it gives off a comfy, nostalgic feeling. Even if what I'm looking at didn't come out long ago and I have no nostalgia for it whatsoever. I just feel like whenever I see something aesthetic, I just start to long for something that ain't even happened yet. Like, why am I watching this anime and thinking about my childhood, even though this is my first time watching it? Or maybe I have watched it before. But looking at a bunch of aesthetic edits and photos that I come across of on Instagram just brings out my inner white girl. Which my inner white girl is that I've watched a little too much Mean Girls. Not the ones that are a disappointment to your family. I don't know, I think aesthetic is kind of a girly thing to obsess over, and if that's the case, then I'm gonna switch my pronouns from he, him to that bitch. Cause I love aesthetics more than you know. Aesthetic comes in many ways because the definition of it is the appreciation of beauty. So it could be anything that's beautiful, like this, or this, or this. But I feel like when most of us think of aesthetic, we think of like a lo-fi VHS kind of look or a neon cyberpunk look. But really anything good looking is an aesthetic, and in this I'm just gonna be talking about my favorite aesthetics I've seen across media. And what other form of media would I start with other than if y'all didn't already know, I mess with anime. I think it's the best Chinese entertainment out there. But most anime be looking like this bland garbage. Like nothing new, nothing that catches your eye. Like they just be copying and pasting their characters and art from every other boring ass anime out there that does the same thing. A lot of them just be a carbon copy of each other. But when one does look great, it makes me cream a little bit. I kind of like the aesthetic of anime in general. You know, when it's not looking like this. Honestly, even if it looks a little different than the average anime, I'ma leave a good impression of the art. But is having good art aesthetic? Well, technically yeah, but I'm not thinking of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood when I think of aesthetic anime. Nah, I'm thinking of Evangelion or Sailor Moon. I be seeing lo-fi edits of scenes from these shows all over. From Misato watching a little too much Dan Schneider to Sailor Moon doing girly stuff. I don't know, I never watched it. Both these anime just look great to look at. When I see them, it does bring back a nostalgic feeling for me. Especially Sailor Moon. Like, I never watched a single episode of this show in my life. Yet every time I see a frame of it, it feels like this show was part of my childhood. I just like the pretty colors. But if I had to pick an anime that has my favorite aesthetic over all of them, it would have to be Fooly Cooly. I think this anime looks absolutely amazing. I love the art of FLCL so much. It gives off this kind of chill atmosphere vibe to it, which is crazy coming from how weird this anime is. Like it's about this alien chick and this boy who's going through puberty and stuff is coming out of his head and they look like boners. Shit's wild. And the animation being crazy good just makes it even better for me. Like how it just be switching art styles out of nowhere. I love this show's aesthetic so much, and the show is just great in general. Just watch FLCL. It just gives you something that only old anime can give you. Speaking of old anime, a bunch of them have really great aesthetics, especially old Ghibli movies, not the new ones. I love the beauty of Ghibli's older movies, my personal favorite being Kiki's Delivery Service. But one that really sticks out to me is the movie Ocean Waves. Now, Ocean Waves is kind of a bad movie. The characters sucked, especially this bitch. Her and the MC had no chemistry and showed no signs of loving each other, let alone liking each other. They just argued for the whole movie. And at the end of the movie, the main character is just like, you know, I actually loved her. What? No, how? Why? I thought you loved your homeboy right here. How do you love her? You hated her for the whole movie. It's a pretty bad movie, but I walked away liking it a lot because I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. I love the slice of life aesthetic of the movie. I'm sorry, I don't know many words. I love the slice of life
exquisite
of the movie. It just looked good to look at all the way through, making me like the movie a lot more, even with its flaws. Basically, I like to look at it, plus it was short, so strong 6. Speaking of Ghibli movies, I really like the aesthetic of I love it when movies actually try to look amazing, because movies nowadays are just filmed and edited in a very standard way. Like, look at Paul Blart Mall Cop, one of the greatest movies of all time. But I won't lie, it's not filmed in a memorable way at all. It's just ordinary. And then when I turn on a Wes Anderson film, that's what I want to see. I don't think you notice, but cinematography matters, because cinematography is what really gives movies its aesthetic. And when I see a movie with beautiful shots like this, I'm just like, wow, I didn't know real life could look this good. Maybe I'm just a jaded person, but whenever I go outside, I just see garbage, the stray cats are speaking another language, and over there, oh look, it's Bob the local masturbator doing his little dance again. Look at him go. But when you add a filter in front of Bob, then boom! Aesthetic. I take a liking to more of the realistic aesthetic though. That's probably why I like Charlie Kaufman's movies so much. The decorative environment in his settings and combined with his realistic characters just make a beautiful movie. Like, I just love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Those are just peak movies. Even though his kind of aesthetics are my favorite, the cyberpunk aesthetic really makes my balls hot. And the best movie example of that is Blade Runner 2049. This movie looks amazing, shot for shot. I feel like I can pause at any point of the movie and see a beautiful, breathtaking frame. But when I think about how great this movie looks, it just makes me a little sad because I know damn well the year 2049 is gonna look nothing like this. I don't even think we're gonna have flying cars by then. By the year 2049, the world's probably gonna look like this at the rate we're going. I also wanted to do a short segment on music videos. I love it when the visuals of a music video match what the song sounds like. Like Kanye's Runaway music video is just a perfect example. Like, I don't even know what to say. Kanye is just so cool. And also music with no music video, like Nights by Frank Ocean, I can already imagine the aesthetic visuals for that song with no reference needed. And this transitions me to the next and last short segment of this video. I'm bad at transitions, I'm sorry. Basically, all the media from the 80s and 90s has the kind of aesthetic that us millennials be using nowadays. Mainly because the media of the time had a grainy TV static kind of look. And I think the reason why people be using 80s and 90s shows and movies as an inspiration for these edits and pictures is because, and I'm saying this for like the 13th time, it's nostalgia. No matter if you watch an episode of Fresh Prince or Saved by the Bell, like, it don't matter if you weren't alive during the time these shows are airing. Just seeing them gives you a nostalgic feeling because it has an older look to it. That's why people be doing those VHS looking edits. 80s and 90s media, whether that be movies, anime, or music, is just a prime inspiration for the aesthetic trend that goes on today. And that's kind of all I wanted to say. The 80s and 90s segment was kind of a conclusion, but I didn't want to make this video any longer than it needed to be, with me just saying the same thing over and over again. The point being, oh, pretty colors, ooh, nostalgia. Like, I think y'all get the point by now. I wish I could make this longer, but I do not have a way with words. I have a very limited vocabulary. I just wanted to make this video to show my love for aesthetic imagery. And in conclusion, I'ma go watch Bart Simpson edits.